One of the most quintessentially American cars of the modern era, the Dodge Viper, stands as a beloved piece of Americana on wheels. Here's the story of the rise and the fall of this iconic vehicle. Initially designed as a concept in 1988, then unveiled as a concept car at the North American International Auto Show in 1989, the Viper received such a great reaction from fans that Chrysler's chief engineer Roy Schoberg was given the task of bringing the concept car into standard production. The original concept car was built by the famed metal crafter's house and inspired by the original Shelby Cobra. The initial model was pushed along into production by none other than Chrysler chairman Lee Iacocca himself. Later, a prototype was driven as a pace car in the 1991 Indy 500 by Carroll Shelby. With so many major names supporting the Viper, it came as no surprise that production was happily aided by then Chrysler affiliate Lamborghini. After the initial concept was laid into clay and later sheet metal, it came time for the Chrysler engineering team to determine the guts of the beast. Roy Schoberg utilized the 8.0-liter V10 from the Dodge Ram, and Lamborghini replaced the iron engine block with an aluminum one, reducing the engine weight by 160 pounds. The first consumer model released in 1992 had no air conditioner, no exterior door handles, vinyl windows, and a canvas top, all in the name of weight reduction. Despite the lack of creature comforts, the initial success of the Viper was nearly instantaneous, selling out every model of the first generation. The car was meant to be a competitor to the Corvette, and these initial models blew the Corvette out of the water performance-wise for many years. The Viper was named an American bruiser, with the raw performance and dramatically aggressive styling that didn't necessarily speak to the consumer so much as it screamed to them. But one notable complaint was the side exhaust. It had a nasty habit of heating up the door sills to the point that it would burn people who weren't mindful when climbing out of the vehicle. The first generation was also notoriously difficult for the average person to drive at high speeds. The first major rework came in 1996 as the second generation of Vipers were released. The exhaust pipes were moved from the leg-scorching sides of the vehicle to the rear, and several steel components were replaced with aluminum, resulting in a 60-pound weight reduction and 15 horsepower increase. The second generation of Vipers also introduced the racing stripes that would become iconic for the car. The third generation was released in 2003 with some major changes. The bodywork was restyled to be more angular, while still retaining the double bubble roof shape. The engine output was increased to 500 horsepower while further reducing the engine weight to approximately 500 pounds. These major power gains were accomplished by increasing the displacement from 8.0 liters to 8.3 liters. This generation was also given a more rigid base frame that was 80 pounds lighter than the previous generation. The fourth generation ran from 2008 to 2010 and had a major engine rework which resulted in 600 horsepower and another displacement increase to 8.4 liter. This generation also introduced the vented engine cover, and an electrical overhaul took place to become compliant with the various regulations of the day. Another interesting change for the fourth generation was the removal of the heat-generating crossover. The fifth and final generation of the Viper was released in 2013 and was discontinued in 2017. This generation brought with it modern stability control systems and a top speed of 208 miles per hour. The engine displacement remained the same at 8.4 liter, but horsepower was increased to 640. The idea behind this generation was to be more consumer-friendly and easier to drive. Unfortunately, this was not enough to bring back the sales success of previous generations. Since its inception, the Viper was discontinued twice. When the Corvette C6 was released in 2005, it caught up to the Viper on a performance scale. By 2010, the Viper was discontinued for the first time, partially due to the financial crisis and the lack of people splurging on sports cars. In 2013, the Viper was brought back from the dead by Dodge's SRT performance line and eventually rebranded back to Dodge. Sadly, the magic from the first models was unable to be recreated. The major complaint from the final iteration is that it just did not age well. The car was discontinued a second time in 2017 when lackluster sales killed the snake off once again. Let us know what you think about the rise and the fall of the Dodge Viper, and thanks for watching Total Garage.